Welcome back, the retro electronics enthusiasts. If you watched my previous videos, you know I have a real soft spot for unique vintage indicators. Today I want to show you a fascinating artifact from Hewlett Packard, the HPDL 1414 LED display. It's a 4-character alphanumeric display module with a built-in controller, a very unusual 17 segments design, and magnifying lenses over every character. It's more capable than standard 7-segment displays that struggle with letters. It's simpler than a full 5x7 dot matrix. These 17 segments can render the entire Latin alphabet and a bunch of special characters. I got curious, where exactly would you have seen this beauty in action back in the day? Well, I found one famous application, the AIM-65 computer, released by Rockwell back in 1978. That machine used an almost identical display model, the DL1416, though it was manufactured by Siemens. Just imagine, 5 of these modules formed an entire display line for programming in assembly or BASIC. If you're interested in learning more about that computer, I've left a link in the description. Let's talk about how these displays were interfaced with computers in 1978. Today, we're used to serial interfaces like I2C or SPI, which only need 2 or 3 data lines. Or even smart addressable LED strips, where everything runs on a single data line, and you can daisy chain them almost indefinitely. But back when these displays were made, every single transistor inside the chip was expensive. A serial interface would have required way too many logic gates. Instead, we have a classic parallel interface, 7 data lines for the ASCII code, 2 address lines to select one of the 4 characters, and the write pin. That's 10 control signals in total. Let's try to put this together and power it up. Every data and address line across all modules need to be buzzed together. To do this, I used thin solid core wire from a spare Ethernet cable, stripping the insulation in segments at regular intervals. The process is quite tedious and doesn't look very pretty, but it gets the job done. Since transistors were pricey back then, there is no power on reset circuit. So when you flip the switch, the displays show a random jumble of characters. Sometimes you even can see a message from the past. One of my modules seems to be defective. It stays blank and draws way too much current. Interestingly, if you leave the inputs floating, the power consumption also will increase. It may sound strange, but is a classic quirk of IC logic. The inputs pick up electromagnetic interference, causing the internal transistors to switch in an insane frequency, kind of like what's happening with these LEDs here. Since logic circuits consume most of their energy during state transitions, this rapid switching causes the model to heat up. By the way, this physical effect is the exact reason your modern CPU gets hot when you overclock it. As soon as I tied all the lines with the resistors, the power consumption stabilized. However, that one display was definitely toast, so I replaced it with a matching one from another batch I had ordered earlier. Interestingly, these models were categorized into brightness classes, indicated by these letter markings. You can clearly see the difference in brightness between different bins. Each indicator has its own write pin that needs to be triggered individually. If we connect every write pin separately, we'd need 17 control lines. I managed to cut that number down by using a decoder. It takes a 3-bit code, the address from one of the 8 outputs, and routes the signal. Since we only ever need to write to one model at a time, we just set the address and pulse the enable pin from the decoder. Just like that, we turned 8 lines into 4. What we have here is a 7-bit data bus and a 5-bit address bus, plus a dedicated write line. If you've studied vintage computer hardware and this looks familiar, you're totally right. This module can be interfaced directly with the data and address buses of a classic microprocessor, like the 6502, using just a few simple logic chips for glue logic. That was the computer design back then. A lot of wires, but a very simple and transparent architecture. Of course, you can easily hook all of this up to everyone's favorite ESP32. But if we are here for the retro experience, we might as well go all the way. So I've hooked up some DIP switches. Now I can output characters without a microcontroller at all, just by toggling the bits manually, true 17 style. This is exactly how data was displayed on computers half a century ago. Did you enjoy these displays from an era where every single pixel was precious? I have several other interesting specimens in my collection. Subscribe so you don't miss my next technical deep dive. Thanks for watching, and may your ideas become reality.